Hey guys, so today I bring you a tiny lacrosse stick, but it's actually got a very interesting story. So a customer came into the store to see me, a gentleman called Paul Bowden, and he was bringing me some bits I bought from him for my collection, and he says, I thought I'd give you this. He said, thought you might like it. So he gave me this little wooden stick, which is very cool, and it transpired that he was actually given this when he was 5 years old by Rick Griffiths. Now, this stick was hanging in the office, and I remember Paul saying to me that he believed it was from the 1971 English Universities team that went on tour to the USA. So if you're keeping up with the videos recently, we had a gentleman called Graham Simpson who came in to visit me in the store, and again he gave me a load of stuff for our lacrosse memorabilia collection, and it included some stuff from the 71 University tour. And on that tour, Graham, it turned out to be the very first English player to use a plastic stick. So again, really interesting gentleman, really interesting story. But I pulled this stick down from the wall, which usually sits just up here above that Gate Brothers picture. And I said to him, Graham, this is going to sound really random. I said, but do you remember in 1971? So, do you remember something from, 50 odd years ago? Do you remember signing a little wooden stick while you were on tour to the USA with English universities? Because there is some signatures on here, and at the time I couldn't really make most of the signatures out. And Graham said, yes, I do remember signing a little wooden stick. And then he had a good look at some of the signatures on here, and there was a few players on there that he could actually identify the signatures of. And it was all his teammates from the English Universities tour, and some of them were quite faded. And funnily enough, Graham's own signature had faded off. So you can just about see, where is it? Here we go. So when Graham came to see me, I had him re-sign the stick. How cool's that? Now, I've got some of the newspaper clippings from the 1971 tour to the US. England took a really strong universities team over there. So it was a combined English universities team, and they played some of the top colleges. So I'm going to show you some of those clippings. So here I've actually got a scrapbook kept by one of the English university players from 1971. And if you open it up inside, unfortunately the scrapbook has lots of the articles and the pictures have come loose, but on the very first page there is a photograph of the English Universities team from 1971. Let's have a look in here. So this was actually put together by Vaughan Wilcox, who's the goalie. And again, I have to be really careful how I hold this. But there's lots of things on the point of falling out. But there's the roster there. So they had 24 players travel. Let's have a look at the universities that were represented here. So Sheffield University, Oxford, Nottingham, Cambridge, London, Manchester, Reading, Lancaster, Liverpool, Leicester. There's a lot of players from Sheffield University on this roster here. Let's have a look. So, here we go. It's the itinerary of the tour. So March 20th, they arrived at Roanoke and took the bus to Washington and Lee. And on the 22nd, they actually had a game against Washington and Lee. On the 23rd, they travelled to North Carolina. Game. I'm guessing that was against North Carolina. Then they travelled to Duke University. Played Duke on the 27th. On the 28th of March, they played University of Pennsylvania. Let's have a look. I think they played Villanova, Washington College, Princeton, University of Massachusetts. So quite a busy tour here. So there's obviously some bits in here that have come detached over the years and some things have been lost, but there's a few interesting bits here. So it's actually got the score. So England Universities lost 11-13 to Washington and Lee. Duke University, English University's actually won 15-5. And it's got the Duke roster here as well. Let's see what else we can find in here. So we have, again, the Duke roster. English Universities beat University of Pennsylvania 6-5. There's actually an article from a newspaper. So I say the title of this article is Stickmen Beaten at Their Own Game by Britishers. I'm not sure Britishers is the correct term. English would have been fine. I don't think there's any such thing as Britishers. So Washington College, England Universities won 14-5. Yeah, Washington College got a bit of an arse kicking, didn't they? And we've actually got the again the roster here for Washington College at the time. And there's this thing here as well from the University of Massachusetts. It's got all the lacrosse records in there, which is pretty interesting. Let's see what else we've got in here. So lots of newspaper cuttings in here. And as I said, there's a few here. Here's another newspaper article at the University of Massachusetts. See if we can find any more scores from the tour. Let's have a look. So, can't see any more. There's loads of newspaper cuttings. It's like a lot of them are literally falling out of this thing. But it seems like, you know, quite a busy tour from the England party. There's actually, so this scrapbook actually has a couple other things in it. So there's also the England Junior Tour from Easter 1972. Look at that, look. It's a photograph there of the squad. And if I'm not mistaken, I've got a feeling that picture was taken at Lillishore. So some really, really interesting stuff here. There's actually a City of Baltimore honorary citizenship to the members of the English high school lacrosse team. Look at that. Very cool. So I'm going to have another good look through this and see what other old interesting articles are in here and what tours were involved in 1972. But yeah, really interesting about that little wooden stick, and hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care, guys.